All right, folks, let's take a good look at this dumb bitch in Minnesota. See, this retarded cunt with a badge, this bacon-ass porker fucking pig, well, he wants to have some beef with ICE while still kissing their ass. Meanwhile, his beef with ICE is that some of his coworkers were targeted by ICE. Oh, it's fine to do this to anybody else, but you do it to a police officer, oh, it's all of a sudden wrong, huh? You do it to a homeless person, nobody gives a shit. See, I get to hear a bunch of racist black people being assholes towards white people. We literally have to die for black people to acknowledge that we lifted a goddamn finger to help them. Meanwhile, you might think with a statement like that, I might be one of them Trump supporters. Oh, fuck no. Fuck no. I don't support any of these Nazi assholes. Now let's hear the retarded shit coming out of this fuckface.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Ruley, Police Chief of the City of Brooklyn Park. Behind me is a bunch of amazing police chiefs that are here in support.
They're all amazing. Really, they're all amazing. That's the same shit that Trump says about his fucking Nazi goons. So what, we got the SS versus the Gestapo? Fuck it, let them have it out. Hopefully, the police and ICE can pull their guns out on each other. Hopefully that's what they do. Then again, at this point, I am fine with them doing this stuff to Americans. You fucking deserve it. You deserve it. You know, I'm part of the LGBT community. But the LGBT community is not actually inclusive. So I'm not actually a part of the LGBT community. I support the rights of LGBT individuals. But as a group, oh, fuck no. You don't deserve special rights for being a fuckhead. That's for goddamn sure. If you have to do something desperate to get attention because you're being abused, I can understand that. If you are constantly fighting for attention because you think everybody should look at you because you want a sex change, no. No, they don't owe that to you. I get to hear the gay community being completely shitty to people who aren't gay. I get to hear the trans community being completely shitty to people who aren't trans. That doesn't stop me from fighting for their rights. Just like it doesn't stop me from fighting for the rights of black people. Just because none of these people give a shit about me doesn't mean that I'm not a human being too. I keep hoping throughout most of my life that maybe somebody will fight for my rights the way I'm fighting for theirs. It's literally never happened. So we're listening to this guy already started off saying some retarded shit. Let's play some more. Oh, come on, Jesus Christ.
Of a very short but very important message that we want to share with you.
Oh, cute.
For many of us today,
Fucking Christ, why does it keep freezing up? Maybe if I pause it for a second.
is the rhetoric of abolish ICE or that there shouldn't be immigration enforcement. The truth is, immigration enforcement is necessary for national security and for local security. But how it's done...
No, it's not. No, it's absolutely not. Going after violent criminals is what keeps the community safe. Violent criminals. Criminals like Tim Beeson. Criminals like Ted Bollinger. Criminals like Andrew Wolnez. Criminals like Sergeant Berger here in Tillamook. Violent criminals like Scott DaCosta of Chapel, Nebraska. Violent criminals. You give them a badge, and all of a sudden they think it's okay to do whatever they want. You know, before any police officer has any right to bitch about ICE treating them that way, they need to stop treating American citizens that way themselves, especially the homeless. The homeless are the most marginalized of our society, bar none. There is nobody more marginalized than the homeless. Everyone hates the homeless. Everyone makes jokes about the homeless. You don't like me saying everyone? No, I do mean everyone. Because silence is compliance. While my supposed friends who claim to love me and claim to care about me wanted to just ignore the abuse and pretend it wasn't happening, look the other way. Oh, it's fine because I'm a homeless person. These people who knew me in real life, who claimed to be my friends, who claimed that they were going to help me, did they ever speak out about the abuse? Fuck no. They only cared if it was a goddamn black person. This is because they're fucking stupid, just like this goddamn pig. And how it's done? Bitch, you do this shit to fucking homeless people for a goddamn living. Shut your fucking bitch ass up and get to the back of the bus, you fucking pig. Oh, fucking
is extremely important. In fact, we have a long history of working exceptionally well with our federal partners, including ICE.
In order to destroy innocent people's lives, I'm sure. I've tried to work with the federal government. I've tried to work with the police. When you're a homeless person, you're not a fucking human being. When this fucking pig right here is out here on the fucking streets with us, getting treated like he's a fucking drug addict just because he doesn't have a roof over his goddamn head, then he can fucking bitch about this shit. But for now, this is a fucking punk-ass bitch. This is a lazy fucking cunt rag who wants special rights, wants special privileges. He's not a vulnerable person. He is a fucking predator.
Agents, and we have seen the best of them perform their job extremely well in the past.
Really? The best of them? There's no such thing. Just like there's no such thing as a good cop. Let me tell you a little story for you idiots in fucking houses. Doesn't matter how much you like somebody or how much you want to believe. Let me tell you about this guy named Doug Cowden. I used to work for him doing roofing. That was when I was in high school. That's right, I had a job while I was in high school doing roofing. Oh. Well, lots of people like Doug Cowden. They wouldn't have believed in a million years that he'd be a fucking pedophile. But he molested his own stepdaughter. Her name was Rayanna. Now, no matter how much you liked Doug Cowden or thought that he wouldn't do something like that, he was a smiley, happy feller. The fact is that he was convicted and he died in prison where he belonged. You want to assume somebody's guilt based on homelessness and deny them all of their rights, deny them due process. You want to bitch that Donald Trump is trying to take away things that we already don't have. Homeless people nationwide are treated like less than animals by law enforcement, by the public. The American people deserve what they're going through. They deserve it. As long as you look away from the homeless people out here getting the worst of it, you do not have a right to complain. You do not have a right to say, oh, well, I'm more victimized because I'm black. No, shut the fuck up. No, you're not. Unless you are black and homeless, you don't know shit. And you want to tell me I don't know nothing about racism because I'm white? You're a fucking idiot. I grew up in the goddamn system getting my ass kicked because of the color of my goddamn skin, you fucking punk.
With that said, recently, as the last 2 weeks, we, as law enforcement community, have been receiving endless complaints about civil rights violations.
But they don't give a holy fucking goddamn if those civil rights violations are committed against a homeless person. None of them do. None of them, and neither do you. Even the homeless don't give a fuck about the other homeless. They will watch another homeless person get beaten to fucking death. What the fuck would you do in that situation? You'd watch.
In our streets from U.S. citizens, what we're hearing is they're being stopped in traffic stops or on the street with no cause and being forced to demand paperwork to determine if they are here legally.
Oh, you mean like police officers doing that to homeless person nationwide? How fucking dare they be homeless? Fuck this dude. You goddamn right, every one of his fucking officers should be harassed. These guys target poor people for a living. And who is the most likely people to be poor in this country? That would be the homeless, that would be the disabled, and that would be minorities. Minorities certainly are not first on that list. Now, this guy is going to complain that minorities who work for his department were targeted by ICE. Well, he didn't have any problems with his boys going along with them pieces of shit to do it to civilians, but it's magically wrong that they did it to cops? No. Especially not when this is cops' standard procedure. They earned it. They deserve it. They served this shit up on an open fucking platter to homeless people. Now, I am obviously anti-Trump. I am obviously not a fan of Donald Trump. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to listen to a bitch-ass narrative that's fucking bullshit and not say a goddamn thing about it. Holy fuck. Look at this goddamn idiot.
As this went on over the past 2 weeks, we started hearing from our police officers the same.
2 weeks. Oh my God. 2 weeks. Really? Holy fuck. I've been dealing with this my entire life. I was not born into a rich family. I was not born into a middle-class family. I was born the son of 2 fucking drug addicts. I got more in common, well, obviously not with this guy or Donald Trump. They might as well be the same guy to me. This guy thinks it's okay to do it to other people, but it's not okay to do it to him. That's exactly how Donald Trump thinks. That's exactly how the Bollingers think, and that's exactly how you think too. You don't believe me? Try a little bit of reflection. What are your opinions based on? And in all of this, who's getting victimized the most? It's still the homeless.
Same complaints as they fell victim to this while off duty. Every one of these individuals is a person of color who has had this happen to them.
You notice he had to person of color. This guy is a good speaker, but he had to pause there. I wonder what word he wanted to use.
Brooklyn Park, one particular officer that shared her story with me was stopped as she passed.
Well, he better tell the story of a female. That's how you get people to care. If it happened to a male police officer, nobody gives a shit. But it happens to a woman, all of a sudden people start giving a shit. Now, that woman who was shot in Minnesota, that white woman, would it have made a difference if she was straight instead of a lesbian? Probably not. Would it have made a difference if she was homeless instead of in a house? Yes. It absolutely would have made all the difference in the world. The media would have painted her in a completely different light. They would have called her mentally ill over and over and over again. They'd have made sure that they slandered the hell out of her name just like they did. But people would want to believe it. Why do I do the desperate things that you guys want to point out and say, oh, he's crazy, look, he's doing those crazy things? Well, it's because you don't listen to people unless they're doing or saying what you expect them to do. Would a black man expect a neo-Nazi to eat dinner with him? Or to cook dinner with him? Or to invite him to a barbecue? Probably not. Would you expect a neo-Nazi to have an intelligent conversation about anything whatsoever? Probably not. But I've had the benefit of growing up in some very shitty conditions. And I've gotten to argue with racists of every color. And there are some very intelligent racists out there. They're still all stupid because they're racist.
ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned.
Imagine that. Now, what right do they have to stop her and ask her for those things? Do they care if she's an American citizen? No, they fucking don't. You are not a human being to these people. You watched it happen to the homeless. No, you didn't. You didn't watch it happen. No, of course you couldn't do that. Then you'd have to acknowledge the fact that it was happening and you let it happen. No, when this stuff happens to the homeless, you look the other way. You pretend it's not happening. Or you make excuses and say that they deserve it. You try to pass laws that make it illegal for us to use the bathroom, make it illegal for us to go to sleep, illegal for us to cover up. You force us to go to places where there's people who are very likely going to take advantage of us. And then you tell us that it's our fault for choosing it. I didn't choose to be victimized for being homeless any more than you chose to be victimized for being black or orange if you're a Trump. I didn't choose my skin color. I didn't choose poverty. I didn't choose my disabilities. And I did not choose for predators with badges to deprive me of my rights because they didn't figure I should be allowed any. They figured I was an Untermensch, less than human. And that is what makes them less than human. This guy can bitch about this woman who was harassed by ICE all he fucking wants. He can bitch about that all he wants. For 2 weeks. Because there is a far cry from him and every other officer in America taking part in this bullshit against the poor and especially the homeless, especially male disabled homeless, for profit. They will help rapists to get away if those rapists rape a homeless person. They will help murderers to get away if those people murdered a homeless person. See, the problem is you still want somebody that you can take your shit out on. The fact is, black people who complain about the horrible things cops have done to them, black people do those same things to the homeless. White people do those same things to the homeless. Hispanic people do those same things to the homeless. And I'm not saying that every member of those groups does these things to the homeless. The rest of you are looking the other way and pretending it's not happening, trying to find some other excuse to look at. You don't give a shit about the homeless, you care about immigrants. You don't care about the homeless, you only care about blacks. You don't care about the homeless, you only care about women. Well, guess what? There's immigrants, blacks, and women on the streets. Also, while you pretend that everybody out on the streets is a junkie, I've gotten to stay with plenty of people in houses that were junkies, alcoholics, abusive people with control issues.
Learned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated. She pulled out her phone in an attempt to record the incident. The phone was knocked out of her hands.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Police officers do the same thing. But you only care if they do it to somebody in a house. A person in a house gets a piddly squat. And you're like, oh, poor them. Oh, we need to make this a national event. But then you slander the shit out of me as a national fucking event. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. This is a disgusting country full of cowards and bigots. And that's just about it. So you want to mind your business, is what you want to call it, when they abuse your neighbors. But then you want to complain when they come after you next. No. No, you helped these predators to get away with it. Now that a couple of your fucking shitbricks are having to deal with it, now magically it's wrong? No, shove it up your ass.
Prevented her from recording it. The officer had their guns drawn during this interaction.
Imagine that. Preventing your victims from recording. Oh, you mean like when you falsely arrest them? When you have already decided you don't have to investigate, they must be guilty? Now, when you say, Sean, do you know this guy? Has this guy arrested you before? You're going at it like you know this man personally. No, I don't know him personally. But I do know he's a cop. And I've been from one end of this fucking country to the other, and they are all shit. They are all shit human beings. All of them will commit fucking felonies against homeless people and destroy a homeless person's ability to become unhomeless just to cover for the felonies committed by one of their fellow officers. This guy here, while he's bitching about this shit happening to his officers, He's still got his lips and his nose so far up the back crack of fucking ice that his eyeballs are peering out the other end of the dude's. This is fucking insanity. Out of all these groups that I've stuck up for, there's only one of them that actually cared about the homeless victims through any of this. There were 4 natives from the Pine Ridge Reservation, Native Americans, not just born in this country. Their ancestors go further back than mine do by a long shot in this country. And the tribal elders actually paid to put some people on an airplane to go to Minneapolis, Minnesota to try to get those 4 natives out of there. Native Americans who happen to be homeless. I wonder how many other homeless people were picked up that the Pine Ridge Reservation doesn't care about because they're not from Pine Ridge or because they're not native. I see a little bit of unity starting to happen where black people are just now starting to realize how hard so many white people are fighting for them. The same thing with immigrants. When you want to blame all whites, white people this and white people that, you're doing exactly the things that you complain about others doing to you. Treating you like because you're black, you must be on crack, and then you treat homeless people like they're on crack. You don't want to be treated like you're just running around the neighborhood stealing people's bikes because you're Mexican, but lo and behold, you'll accuse homeless people of stealing just about every goddamn thing now, won't you? You don't want people to say that Jews are just out for everybody's money. But then that's how you treat the homeless. Like they're just out to take your money. Then, of course, you're told not to help the homeless. If you're going to help them, don't give them money, don't help them in a lot of other ways, too. The very ways that you're allowed to help immigrants. You want to take away services for millions of disabled people in this country because somebody with brown skin might be getting some benefits, might be skeezing off the system. That's not okay. Black people do not have the right to complain. Native Americans do not have the right to complain. Police officers do not have the right to complain, and women do not have the right to complain. Men do not have the right to complain. None of you have the right to complain because all of you are complicit in this. All of you will look the other way if it's a group of people you don't like. If you hate homosexuals and they go after homosexuals, you'll make excuses for them. If you hate straight people and they go after straight people, you'll make excuses for them. It's not until they're threatened with what they're giving that they stop and try to reflect on their own humanity. It doesn't feel so good when you're the one getting your ass beat just because people decided to profile your bitch ass. All cops should be profiled because all cops profile the homeless. All people should be profiled because all people profile the homeless. You harm the people that you have bias against, and you look away to all of the crimes committed against them. I wonder how many illegal immigrants are telling homeless people thank you for sticking up for their rights. And there are a lot of homeless people sticking up for their rights. I wonder how many black people go talk to the homeless people and say thank you for fighting for our rights. You don't want to listen to a homeless person. You don't want their help. Fucking disgusting.